Nvidia replacing Intel on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Wow, that's pretty big news, right? It really feels like AI is changing everything, and this is a huge sign of that shift.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes beyond just these two companies. I mean, the Dow represents like the foundation of the American economy, and for Intel to be replaced by Nvidia, well, that really tells us where investors are putting their money. They're betting on the future, and it looks like that future is AI.
Right, exactly. And it kind of leads us to the big question we're diving into today.
Hmm.
Has Intel, completely missed the boat on AI, or are they strategically planning something big? Because honestly, their journey into AI chips has been kind of bumpy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look at their Gaudi chips. They were supposed to be Intel's like big answer to this huge demand for AI acceleration, those specialized processors that help AI apps run faster. But even after they scaled back their initial goal of $1 billion in sales down to 500 million, they still couldn't hit that target. And now they've just scrapped the forecast altogether.
It's a roller coaster for sure. And it seems like some analysts are starting to question Intel's whole AI strategy.
Yeah, in their last earnings call, someone even asked, like point blank, what happens to Intel if they can't make it in AI? And it's a valid question, especially with how much money there is in AI and how fast it's growing. And of course, you see Nvidia's stock just skyrocketing.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what Intel's going to do next, right?
Right.
You have Nvidia making bank with their AI chips, and Intel just, well, struggling to get a foothold.
It's not just about the chips themselves either. It's like creating a whole world around them.
Mhm.
Software, developer tools, all the right partnerships. NVIDIA's been really good at building that up, making it tough for anyone else to compete.
So let's talk about why these Gaudi chips haven't been a success for Intel. It seems like there were a lot of problems, right? Software issues, that tricky transition to the third generation of Gaudi chips, and of course, facing off against Nvidia and AMD.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even Pat Gelsinger, Intel's CEO, has admitted that moving to Gaudi 3 was a lot slower than they expected, which hurt, people adopting it. It's interesting, though, because at first he was super optimistic about Gaudi, pushing his team hard for those, like, really ambitious sales projections.
And it's important to note that even if Intel had hit those goals, they don't even manufacture their own chips, right? They rely on TSMC, which could also be a competitor down the line. The chip world is very complex.
For sure, it really shows you how connected everything is. You have these companies that are both partners and competitors at the same time.
So Gelsinger's been saying that Gaudi is all about affordability. They're not trying to beat NVIDIA's raw power, but they are focusing on providing more cost-effective solutions, especially in areas outside of just training AI in the cloud.
Yeah.
He thinks the total cost of ownership, like considering power and cooling and stuff, will make Gaudi a winner in the long run.
Yeah, that's a good point. AI isn't just about these huge models running in data centers. It's becoming part of everyday devices, and those might need something different than what NVIDIA is offering.
True, but even if Intel is aiming for a different market, they still need to make some changes, right?
Hmm.
They've had to cut costs, lay off employees, and reorganize some of their business.
Hmm.
That says something about their situation.
It's what companies do when they need to turn things around. They go back to basics, cut spending, and focus on what they do best. For Intel, that's their by 86 chips. Those are still in most computers. And of course, they got to make Gaudi more attractive by lowering that total cost of ownership.
So while Intel is busy with their comeback, there's this other player who's making a splash in the AI chip world, and they're doing things completely differently.
Right. And it's pretty remarkable, actually. They've come up with a whole new chip design. It's got the potential to, like, really shake things up. But before we get into that, maybe we should talk about what makes this new company so special.
Okay, so who is this mysterious company? It sounds like they're bringing something new to the table.
Yeah, it's Cerebra Systems. And they're doing AI acceleration in a really unique way. They've developed this thing called the Wafer Scale Engine, WSE for short. It's a chip, but like not a normal one. Imagine a chip the size of a whole silicon wafer. That's the WSE.
Wow, that's huge.
Hmm.
So what's the advantage of having a chip that big?
It's all about like efficiency and speed. You see, with the usual AI systems, you have lots of smaller chips and they have to talk to each other, which slows things down. The WSE puts everything on one giant chip. We're talking trillions of transistors, thousands of cores, tons of memory. It's all right there, so you don't have to move data around as much, and that's super important for AI.
So Cerebras is tackling the latency problem, right?
Yeah.
For our listeners who might not know, latency is basically the delay between when you ask for data and when you actually get it. And with these giant data sets, that delay can really kill your performance.
Exactly. And Cerebra says that their WSE can, like, really cut down on that latency, making AI training and inference way faster.
Inference, right.
Right.
That's when a trained AI, like a big language model or whatever, is actually doing its thing. Predicting stuff, writing text. It's how AI does its job.
Yeah.
So Cerebras is saying their tech is, like, perfect for that.
Yeah, that's their focus. And they're making some bold claims, saying that the WSE can outperform even NVIDIA's best GPUs.
Okay, so they're making claims, but do they have anything to back it up? How do their chips actually compare to NVIDIA's?
Well, that's where things get interesting. They've done some benchmarking tests, and the results are pretty impressive.
Lay it on me. What kind of results are we talking about?
They used Llama 3.2 for their tests, which is, the latest version of Meta's large language model. It's a big deal, very cutting edge. And Cerebras claims that their WSE is 16 times faster than any GPU out there for running Llama 3.2 inference. They also say it's, get this, 68 times faster than running it on a typical cloud provider.
Whoa, those are some serious numbers. If those are true, this could be a game changer. But how does this all affect NVIDIA and, Intel?
Well, for NVIDIA, I think it's a sign that they can't get too comfortable. They've been on top for a while, but Cerebras is showing there's more than one way to build an AI chip. It's early, but if Cerebras keeps this up, they could start taking some of NVIDIA's market share.
And what about Intel? They're already trying to catch up to NVIDIA, and now they have this new company breathing down their neck, too.
Yeah, tough spot for them. They're kind of stuck. They haven't been able to break into the high-performance market where NVIDIA rules, and now Cerebras is coming in with potentially cheaper and more efficient options for other areas.
So we have Intel trying to find their place, NVIDIA with a new challenger, and then there's TSMC, who makes chips for both of them, just lurking in the background. This is fascinating. What do you think this means for our listener, someone who's trying to understand all this AI stuff? What are the key takeaways here?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that the AI chip market is changing all the time. What's hot today might be old news tomorrow, and that's true for the technology, the companies, everything. It's something to keep in mind whether you're an investor or just interested in tech. There are no guarantees in this game.
That's a good point about not putting all your eggs in one basket. Trying to pick a winner is tough in AI. It's better to focus on the trends, the different approaches that gives you a better view of what's going on.
Exactly. It's not just about the chips, it's the whole package. Software, tools, partnerships. Understanding how all that fits together is key to making sense of the AI world.
So as we're wrapping up this part of our deep dive, let me leave our listener with a question to think about. Intel's struggling, NVIDIA's got new competition, and TSMC is this, like, silent giant in the background.
Hmm.
What do you think the future holds for AI chips?
Will NVIDIA stay on top? Will we see more diversity, maybe even Intel making a comeback? Or could TSMC step in and change the game entirely? These are the things to watch as this whole industry plays out.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see how it all unfolds. It's like watching a tech race in real time, and the stakes are high. It's a reminder that we're living in a time of incredible innovation.
Absolutely. And all this stuff, it's not just about tech companies. It's going to touch all of our lives. Healthcare, finance, everything.
Hmm.
So staying informed about this stuff is more important than ever.
It's definitely a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly exciting. To our listener, keep learning, keep asking questions. You never know what you'll discover.
Well said. Knowledge is power in this fast-moving world. So keep digging deeper and asking questions and keep those deep dives going.
It's wild to think that these tiny chips, so smaller than your fingernail, are going to be so important. As we wrap up today, it's pretty clear that the AI chip world is, well, wide open, right? We have those big companies like Intel trying to adapt, those leaders like Nvidia facing new challenges, and then those newcomers like Cerebras who are just like shaking everything up with their new ideas.
Yeah, it just shows you how fast things change in AI. Something that's groundbreaking today might be old news by next week. And that goes for the companies, the strategies, everything.
Makes you wonder what's going to determine who wins in the end, right? Will it be like raw power? Or will it be, how affordable and efficient the chips are? Or maybe it'll be something totally different, like being able to adapt quickly or having the right partners, or maybe even like predicting the next big thing before it happens.
That's the question, isn't it? And there isn't really a simple answer. You have all these different things happening at the same time, like new technologies, the market, even global politics. And then AI itself is changing too, the things people are using it for.
It's like trying to figure out what the weather's going to be. There's so many things happening, it's impossible to know for sure. But maybe that's what makes it so interesting. It's always changing, always something new happening.
And for anyone listening who's trying to make sense of all this, I think the important thing is to be curious, stay informed, and don't be afraid to, question what everyone's saying. What looks like a sure thing today could be a total gamble tomorrow.
Exactly. Don't just buy into the hype or focus on one company or one technology. It's better to understand the whole picture. The trends, the challenges, the potential. That's what really matters.
Yeah, it's being able to look past the headlines, connect all the pieces, and kind of see where this technology is going. That's what's going to set you apart, whether you're investing, running a business, or just someone who wants to understand what's happening in the world.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks so much for helping us explore the world of AI chips. It's been a really interesting deep dive, and I'm sure our listener has a lot to think about.
It's been fun. Always enjoy our conversations.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.